This conference will now be recorded.
I think we're ready. I think it's time. I call to order the October 28th, 2020 Special Common Council meeting. Will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to our nation's flag?
I'm not standing.
Pledge allegiance.
To the flag
of the United States of America,
and to the
republic
for which it stands, one nation, God,
under God,
indivisible,
and justice for
liberty
all.
for all. For all.
Thank you. Will the clerk conduct a roll call, please?
Heidi,
Here.
Blinker,
Here.
Reynolds,
Here.
Campbell,
Here.
Brown,
Here.
Allersmeyer, here, Williamson,
Here.
Downey,
Here.
Sargent.
Here.
Quorum present.
Okay. Approval of the minutes. You have received. Okay.
I move for approval of the October 5th and October 8th minutes.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Thank you. Are there any questions or concerns about those minutes? Okay. Will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on the approval of the minutes for October 5th and October 8th?
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson,
Aye.
Downey.
Aye.
Minutes approved.
Okay. Ordinances for second reading. Ordinance 2020-28.
The 2021 GLPTC budget and ordinance appropriating money for the Greater Lafayette Public Transportation as required pursuant to Indiana Code 6-1.1-17-20.
Mrs. Alsmeyer? You say something? Mrs. Alsmeyer?
Sorry, my mic keeps cutting out. I move we hear and approve ordinance 2020-28.
Okay, Mr. Brown?
Second.
Okay. This has not changed. Does anybody have any questions concerning this ordinance? Any council members have any questions? Was there any additional or any public comment about this ordinance?
I received none.
Okay. Hearing no questions or no public comment, will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2020-28?
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson,
Aye.
Downey.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Okay, next ordinance 2020-29.
The 2021 budget and ordinance appropriating money for the purpose of defraying expenses of several departments of the city government of the city of Lafayette, Indiana for the first fiscal year beginning January 1, 2021, ending December 31st, 2021, including the outstanding claims and obligations and fixing the time when the same shall take effect.
Okay, Mr. Reynolds?
Madam President, I move to hear ordinance 2020-29 on second and final reading.
Okay, and Mr. Clinker?
Second.
Okay, this ordinance needs to be amended. So we need a motion, Mrs. Williamson, for the amendment of this ordinance.
So moved.
And Mrs. Alsmeyer.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Clare, do you want to talk to the amendment, please? Are you the one that's going to speak to it, or is it the mayor?
Yes, Madam President. I believe the mayor wanted to say some opening comments, and then I will follow his.
Great.
Thank you. Madam President, ladies and gentlemen of the council, thank you for being here this evening as we finalize the budget for 2021. I want to just take a moment to thank each and every one of you as the fiscal body for working with all of us here at the City of Lafayette as we move through each year like we typically do, and then in this special time that we find ourselves in. It's great to have a supportive council that understands the needs of our community, the needs of our staff, our team members, and help us facilitate those services and those financial resources in a way that are effective and efficient. I want to thank Tim Clary and the whole staff in the controller's office, all the department heads, and all the city employees that have done a great job this year, helping manage our money, deliver those services efficiently and effectively, cutting back when we needed to during this COVID, and continue, as you've noticed, and we appreciate Mr. Campbell's comments earlier, you've noticed there have been no cutback in services, trash, recycling, leaves, limbs, water, sewer, road paving. We've continued to do those, and this budget reflects that commitment to our citizens again as we move into 2021 with a strong emphasis on public safety, police and fire, our parks and recreation department, quality of life initiatives, and the importance of our infrastructure. So thank you very much for your support. I'm going to turn it over to Controller Clary at this time, and he's going to go through some information that will help clarify the major points within the budget. So thank you. Tim?
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the Common Council. It's my pleasure to present the final effort at arriving at the operational costs for the 21 calendar year. We've made the necessary cuts to put this budget in balance, and we've maintained a 1% raise for civilian employees, and also have implemented a long-awaited longevity plan for our members of police and fire. The health insurance rates for the second year in a row are only going to rise slightly, and we've been given a 1-month premium-free holiday, which will take place in December of this year. So that was a very nice gesture by the AIM Medical Trust, and when you figure that in over the entire year, that's going to result in just a very small increase in our health insurance rates. From the original budget, we were able to cut $4.6 million out of the advertised budget, which you all know is advertised high to make sure that we get our entire maximum levy. The major cuts that were made were in the general fund, the motor vehicle highway fund, and the park and recreation fund, the three biggest funds that we have here on the civilian side of the books. The cuts were made in line items of health insurance and also capital projects. Fortunately, the city will be able to fund a lot of our capital purchases from other funds, including the Public Safety Lit and also the Cumulative Capital Development Fund. Virtually all the departments were affected by the cuts, and this budget now sits at $71,645,080, which represents only a 1.55% increase over last year's 2020 budget approval. The COVID-19 has certainly brought on many challenges here at the city, and we took those challenges upon us when we estimated our revenue for 2021. We've been given some estimates from the state in terms of income tax, other by the county with property tax. So we've really gone, I would think, more into detail this year to determine if we had adequate funding to fund this 2021 budget. And I can say with confidence that I'm glad of all the work that we've had from the department heads, from the mayor, from Cindy, from my staff here in the office that really worked hard to put out a good product tonight for your approval. Some of the highlights of the funds, the general fund, we expect to receive a little less in the county option income tax, which is an income tax based source of revenue for that fund. We've also moved some expenses to the Public Safety Lit Fund. Motor vehicle highway has been hit hard in 2020 with the reduction in commuting for employees and other travel in general. That fund derives a majority of its revenue from gas tax, which has been down. Other funds that we expect to see increase in revenue in 2021. One is the CCD Fund. Last fall, with the approval of Ordinance 2020-03 by the City Council, we were able to reestablish that fund and expect to receive about $1.6 million in revenue. That CCD Fund is a catch-all where it can assist various departments of the city in purchasing capital type items that help with our other budgets and will enhance infrastructure and also equipment and other needs of our departments of the city. Our economic development income tax, also known as EDIT, the distribution is expected to be roughly 7.4 million. We have budgeted 7 million just because there is additional uncertainty. When a lot of these estimates were made back in the summer, a lot of the estimates were made that COVID-19 would be under control right now. As you know, it's far from being under control, and we just want to be very conservative in our estimates and ensuring that we'll have enough revenue to pay all of our expenses next year. I believe the city has endured the COVID-19 in an extraordinary way this year. The way that our troops have rallied together and done a great job, the adherence to budgets by our department heads has really allowed us to offer a 1% raise to our employees in these trying times. And we've also continued, as the mayor said, to provide all the city services that our citizens have come to rely upon. And I believe that our financial situation is very good. We just eclipsed the $6 million amount in our rainy day fund, and we hope we never have to use it. During the COVID-19 pandemic right now, not having to access that fund, I think, is an ultimate test of the city of Lafayette's finances, to know if we do have department heads, leadership that will take on these tough times and make the necessary cuts, not to personnel, but to other expenses, that we can push out a bit and still provide all the great services that everybody has come to enjoy here in the city of Lafayette. I want to thank you all for your support in the budgeting process with the advertised amounts that we gave out a few weeks ago, and I would appreciate your approval tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clarigan. Thank you for all your hard work you've done on this budget.
You're very welcome. It's my pleasure.
Do council members have any questions? Okay, was there any public comment concerning this ordinance?
There was none.
Okay, hearing no questions, will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on the amended ordinance 2020-29?
Heidi?
Aye.
Clinker?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Campbell?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Allersmeyer?
Aye.
Williamson?
Aye.
Downing?
Aye.
Amended ordinance passes 8-0.
Okay, next is ordinance 2020-30.
An ordinance fixing the salaries of the appointed officers and employees of the city of Lafayette, Indiana for the year 2021, excluding the sworn protective occupation and law enforcement members of the police and fire departments.
Okay, Mr. Brown?
Madam President, I move that we hear and approve ordinance 2020-30 on second and final reading.
Okay, and Mr. Campbell?
Second.
Okay, this ordinance, Exhibit A in this ordinance needs to be amended. So could we have a motion, Mr. Hyde, to do that, please?
Move to amend ordinance 2020-30.
Okay, and Exhibit A, and Mr. Clinker?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Who's going to speak to the Exhibit A that's being amended?
I can, Madam President. As Tim said and I said earlier, this represents a 1% raise. We would like to do more, obviously, but we think this is reasonable. It keeps us in balance. And we have nobody has, fortunately, here at the city of Lafayette lost any work or pay. We've been able, through the use of COVID time and different things, you know, everybody has weathered this. And as you know, we have a great, we do have a great package of benefits here. So this will make sure that we at least get something to our great team members, and yet continue to stay in balance and always keeping our eye on 2022. There's a lot of folks out there that believe 2022 will be the worst year and the most difficult financially. So we're certainly keeping our eye on that as we look at what we do here for 2021.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Does anybody have any questions or comments on this ordinance, with Exhibit A being amended? Was there any public comment concerning this?
I received none.
Okay. Will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2020-30 with Exhibit A amended?
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson,
Aye.
Downey.
Aye.
Ordinance with amended Exhibit A has passed 8-0.
Okay. Next is ordinance 2020-31.
Amended ordinance fixing the salaries of the sworn protective occupation and law enforcement poll members of the police and fire departments of the city of Lafayette, Indiana for the year 2021.
Mr. Reynolds?
Madam President, I move to hear ordinance 2020-31 on second reading.
Okay. And Mrs. Williamson?
Second.
Okay. This ordinance also has to be amended. Exhibits A and B need to be amended on this ordinance. Mrs. Alsmeyer?
So moved.
Okay. And Mr. Brown?
Second.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Mayor, are you going to speak to this also?
Yes, ma'am. I've went into great detail on some of our prior meetings, so I'll keep it relatively short. As you know, this includes a longevity pay, specialty pay, and things of that nature for the members of our police and fire departments. There is no actual raise in this, like the 1% for the civilians. This is the longevity. I can tell you it was incredibly well received within both departments. They've been looking forward to this for a long time. I've actually already signed the contract with the fire department. The union and myself have both signed that, and that will go to the Board of Works for their approval for the entire contract. And I'm finishing up some language with the Fraternal Order of Police. So we're pleased to be able to do this. We think it's going to make a big deal in our ability to recruit new firefighters and new police officers and help retain the ones that we have, and certainly will help them with their pensions as they move into those years of their career. So appreciate your support on this. And like I said, it was incredibly well received. So we're glad that we were finally able to do this.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Does anybody have any questions concerning this amended ordinance? Any public comment concerning this ordinance?
There was none.
Okay. Will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on, it was amended to begin with, amended 2020-31, and also Exhibit A and B amended.
Heidi,
Aye.
Okay.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson,
Aye.
Downey.
Aye.
The amended ordinance passes with the amended exhibits A and B, 8-0.
Okay. The next ordinance is ordinance 2020-32.
An ordinance fixing the salaries of the elected officials of the city of Lafayette, Indiana for the year 2021.
Mr. Campbell?
I move for passage of ordinance 2020-32.
Okay. And Mr. Heidi?
Second.
Okay. Thank you. Do we have any comments or concerns about this ordinance?
Madam President, as I stated earlier, and I'll say it again for the public record, I just felt in lieu of everything it was not appropriate for elected officials to take raises this year. So I have recommended a 0 for the salary of elected officials. And I think that's appropriate based on all the circumstances we're currently dealing with.
I agree with you. I think that's a good decision. Any other comments or concerns about this ordinance? Was there any public comment?
I received
Okay, will the clerk conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2020-32?
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson,
Aye.
County.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Okay, next on the agenda is public comment. Was there any other public comment concerning this meeting?
No, I received none.
You say no. Okay, so we need a motion for adjournment, Mr. Heidi?
I move.
I just want to remind everybody that to sign, we need to have that, that form signed and also come in and sign your nepotism forms.
Okay, in the next couple days, by Friday?
Yeah,
Okay,
and then we will have our meeting Monday virtually, so watch for the link.
okay. Any other announcement before we adjourn? Mr. Heidi, motion to adjourn, and Mr. Campbell,
Second.
we need to take a roll call vote.
Heidi,
Aye.
Blinker,
Aye.
Reynolds,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Allersmeyer,
Aye.
Williamson,
Aye.
County.
Aye.